I believe my screen is up. All right. Computer systems and operations. So the outline for today's webinar, under this theme, computer system and operations, we have introduction and definition of computer systems and operations. Then after that, we are going to look into types of computer systems, the various types of computer systems we have. So, and as we continue, we also look at system operations and management. And we can also look at modern trends in computer systems. So let's proceed. Introduction to computer system. All right. Am I audible enough? Okay. A computer system is a complete set of hardware and software. It's a complete set of hardware and software components that works together to perform data processing tasks. That is what a computer system is. If you look at the cover, the background of my video there, of my video profile there, you see that you are seeing some hardware there. You are seeing some persons trying to make use of the computer, make use of the computer hardware. That is that, and so that is what a computer system is. A computer system is a collection, is a complete set of hardware and software components that works together to perform data processing tasks. All right. Computer systems also include deep knowledge in firmware, that is alongside hardware and software, or apart from hardware and software. We also have what we call firmware, malware, and even peopleware that controls the system. So we have what we call the firmware, the malware, and peopleware. All right. But then let's be reminded that a computer is a programmable electronic device that accepts, stores, processes data, and display information as an output. This is just like a recap, like a recall, actually. We are all familiar with the definition of a computer at the minimum. Now, let's break this simple definition down. It says programmable electronic device. That is, it is an electronic device. It uses power supply, or something that can supply power. That is where the electronics is coming from. That is, electron flows through that device. Programmable means that it works by automation. So everything that you need to do has been automated. So as you are putting something inside, something is being processing and you are getting something back. So that is what that programmable is there for. So by the other part of the definition says that accept, you need to what? Input data into a computer if you need to get any information out, if you need to get any result. So it stores those your data that you put into it. They are meant to be what? To be stored. Processes. A data that is processed is what we refer to as information. Data that is processed is what we refer to as information. So simply, a computer is a programming electronic device that accepts, stores, processes data, and displays information as an output. Okay. Now, but what we are looking at today is a complete set of what a computer is made of, or is made up of. Now, that complete set is what we refer to as a computer system. Okay. All right. Types of computer systems, or I can say components or categories in which we are looking into as regard computer systems. So we'll be looking at computer hardware, we'll be looking at computer software, which are the core types of computer system. Then we'll also be looking at other other components or other types of computer systems, which they are still embedded into the computer system. In fact, without other ones, the computer system might not work or is not complete. All right. So hardware, that is the first part of the computer system. The first type of the computer system, we have the hardware. So here we see computer hardware refers to the physical components of a computer system that you can touch and see. If any device or anything is regarded as a computer or a computer system, the part that the physical component, the part that you can see, the part that you can touch, the part that is visible, that is tangible, that is the part that is referred to as the computer hardware. Yeah, that's the part that's referred as the computer hardware. These components work together to process data, to store information, and allow users to interact with the device. Computer hardware is basically categorized into internal and external components. When I say internal and external components, I mean internal is the one that is embedded inside the container. Like let's say the CPU and the system unit. You have your motherboard inside it. You have CPU, you have RAM, you have a lot of components inside the system unit or casing. So all of those components are still hardware, but they are internal. Right? External are the ones that you can touch directly, you can see. We are talking about the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, the system unit itself. So, all right, internal components include motherboard, the central circuit board that connects all other components. The central circuit board. So when we say circuit board, we mean what is commonly known as a panel. So, but technically, it's referred to as PCB, printed circuit board. So I said motherboard is a central circuit board that connects all other components. Every component is connected to the motherboard of a computer. All right. So next is CPU. That's so commonly known. We have central processing unit, the brain of the computer. That is what we refer to as the brain of the computer, responsible for executing instructions. RAM, RAM, random access memory. It is also a component internalized in a computer, in the system unit. And what is this for? We need to also understand these things as a basic appreciation and a basic knowledge in entering into the tech world. So that is why this topic theme is coming up. We need to ensure that the basic knowledge in diving into tech is grounded. So once you have groomed up with the basic knowledge, from there that's comes as the grassroots of what tech is driving at, or in fact what tech is spelling out. So you can easily know that, okay, this is what this area is about. This is what this area is about. All of that is going to be covered in today's webinar. Okay. So as I was saying, RAM, random access memory, we have the basic function is temporary storage for data. Temporary storage for data. The computer is actively using. Okay, let me see. Right now, I'm using the Chrome. I'm using the Chrome browser. So part of my RAM, part of my computer RAM is being used by the Chrome. I'm using Zoom right now. Part of my RAM, if my RAM is 8 gig, if my RAM is 16 gig, maybe I'm using 500 MB for Zoom. I'm using 2 gig for Chrome. So the temporary storage for data the computer is actively using at the moment. The moment your computer is booted and is running, is being used, you need to understand that RAM begins to work. RAM begins to work. It begins to know that, okay, what are the applications that are opened, that are running at that particular time. So that is what RAM basically is. We need to understand that to the grassroots. Okay, we have next storage devices. When we see storage devices, this represents what we call ROM, read-only memory, ROM. So, and we have two major types of storage devices or components, which are HDD or SSD. HDD is talking about hard disk drive, or SSD, solid state drive. So, and they represent permanent data storage. So the SSD is more sophisticated and is more effective than the HDD. That's just the basic difference. So we might look at that deeper. But then For now, we have that the tool the basic function is permanent data storage. All your files, your applications, your external files, downloaded files, all of them are being stored in these storage devices. Okay. So the external component of hardware, we have them to be either input devices or output devices. If something is an hardware, it's either it represents input, output, or processing. So the processing aspects, we've talked about that. Most of the processing aspects are internal components, except the system casing, that's like the container. Every other thing are more or less internalized. Okay, so under the external component of computer hardware that we can see and touch, we have the first section to be input devices. These are what help you to input data. If you need to input data into the computer, we have the keyboard, we have the mouse, we have the microphone, we have the webcam. So keyboard, of course, you know that the keyboard is used for inputting letters, inputting numbers, inputting symbols, and you want to write and all that, do typing and the like. So we have that to be in the keyboard. So we have a picture that represents most of the hardware that we have. I ensure that I want us to see most of the hardware here. The first one here is talking. Okay, this is the keyboard here at the center. Above the keyboard, we have the system casing, the system units. You have the system. So inside the system units is where we have the motherboard and other components attached to the motherboard. With the use of USB ports, every other external component are attached to the system unit. You need to understand that. So beside the keyboard here, which is at the center here, we have the microprocessor. We have the microprocessor. This is what it looks like. You see that we are seeing something like a chip on it. So that is what microprocessor is about. And so these are various hardware, computer hardware. Still above the keyboard here, we have our flash drive. It's an external storage device. So flash drive. We have the mouse here. We have to the right section, we have hard disk. This is an HDD hard disk drive. We have above it, we have the CD-ROM. Below it, we have the another a mini motherboard there, a mini circuit board rather. Then above them, we have the earphones. We have the port. This looks like this is actually HDMI port. So you need to be if you need to understand computer systems. I mean to say, if you need to be a computer literate, to be a computer professional or a proper computer user, you need to be familiarized with several computer hardware, what they do, how they behave, their functions, their specialties, and many more. So above to the left, we have a memory card here. Above it, we have a scanner. You have a scanner. Okay, okay. I think it's a scanner / a webcam. You have a tablet here. You have a laptop. So we have a printer at the bottom left. You have a printer. You have an headset here. So these are numerous computer hardware. There are many. So we need to at least these few ones you need to understand. Okay, we have at the center here we have the power cable charger. Yeah. All right. The whether it's laptop or a desktop, the adapter or the charger, right? Of course. So in this image here is showing all most of the computer hardware that's include input devices, output devices, and also include the processing devices. So okay, I said the output devices here we have the monitor, printer, and speakers. While the input we have the keyboard, mouse, microphone, and webcam. Trying to go over that again. Then for the networking hardware, we have router, modem, and switches. I'll be showing the image of this by tomorrow section. So I'll be showing you the image. So I want us to focus on the basic part of it today, which is the input and output devices. So these are the images that are here all up front right now. Okay, next. Okay, I have another picture still, another image still showing the computer hardware Yeah, we have the printer, the monitor, we have the keyboard, we have the mouse connected to the system units. We have the SMPS looking like a projector. Not looking like that's a projector. We have the RAM. These are the RAM looks like. Whether it's a 4 gig RAM, 8 gig RAM, or 16 gig RAM. These are the RAM looks like. And it's fixed to the motherboard of the system unit or system casing. All right. Okay, we have the processor, we have the motherboard itself. This is it. And we have the optical drive. So that's that about hardware. So once again, hardware is basically referring to the physical components of a computer system that you can touch and see, be it input device, be it output device, the processing device, peripherals. It could be networking device, router switches, and the like. So everything you can see and you can touch in a computer system, in a computer environment, it is referred to as a computer hardware. All right, progress. We'll be looking into software right now. We'll be looking into software. So we have after this software, I will give a little opportunity to um, ask questions. In fact, simultaneously, if you have question, as soon as you have a question on what is not clear or what you need more enlightenment on, you can just drop it on the chat box. Yeah, it is very, very essential. All right. Okay, we have a computer software. Computer software is a set of instructions, data, or programs that enable a computer to perform specific tasks. At the level of comprehension, comprehension actually, to get what hardware is, software is, you know that software looks a bit abstract. So, but this is the time to have a breakdown though. So we have computer software is a set of instructions, data, or programs that enable a computer to perform specific tasks. What we mean here is all the hardware that you are seeing on board, you can type in, you can do this, you can get an output. All of them operates based on instruction. All of them operate based on instruction. So if you need to eat, if you need to eat, and okay, all you need to do is at home, right? You need to cook, right? So there's a guideline that okay, I want to cook now. You have to cook with a pot. Cooking with a pot is an instruction, is a guideline. You can't cook with table. I don't know, maybe we are following that. You can't cook with a laptop. You can't cook with broom. You understand? So you can cook with a pot. And if you want to cook with a pot, you have to put a pot what's that called? I mean, on the fire source. There must be a source of fire of heat power. I mean, I say power, source of heat or I mean fire. So that's all of those things that are statutory is called instructions. Things that are close to programmed. That is the way it has to be done. So I'm trying to relate that to what a computer software is doing. So now, basically, to a layman, a computer software is actually trying to get what you are inputting to the computer. Trying to relate that your statement, your letters, your whatever language you are using, trying to convert it to what the processor. This processor you are talking about is inside the system unit, attached to the motherboard. It looks like a chip like this. So now that processor, that is where the instructions, the data, the programs is embedded into from the computer manufacturer. The computer manufacturer has programmed, in fact, has embedded some instructions. Now, when I say instructions and programs, we are trying to say code. All these things, when I say is program, we are trying to say those things are programmed. How, how the computer is going to understand what we are inputting to the computer is those understanding has been programmed with codes into that processor. So the moment hardware are connected to that motherboard that's having that chip. There's a connection. So it now begins to what? To do the conversion. It now begins to do the comprehension. It now begins to set boundaries and instructions. No, you cannot. I didn't understand what to give, what you are giving me. This is what I need you to do. So that is why we call it instructions. So basically, no specific task can be carried on in the computer without software. It's actually like the guide that has been programmed by the computer manufacturer. Okay, as we are proceeding, I will still put more light on that. Now we have software can be broadly categorized into system software, which manages the computer basic functions, and application software, which allows users to perform specific tasks. What does this mean? System software has to do with what manages the computer basic functions, like booting. When you have the computer, the first thing you have to do in the computer is to switch it on, right? Now, at the point of switching that on, system software is already working. I'm still coming back to that. Now, when the computer has booted, if you click an application, which is a Windows application, or let's say which is a Windows application, you want to install it in a MacBook, it will not allow. Why? Because of system software. Okay. When I say application software, that is the software a user uses. Maybe it's an MS Word. Maybe it's a browser. A Chrome is an application software. A browser. Let's say, okay, that browser is what a user wants to use to browse, to get data, and to get research, to search for anything. So it could be games, it could be word editor or word processor like MS Word, it could be Excel. So all of that are what are application software. So let's take a look at that in the next image. Yeah. Now, system software manages the computer's hardware, and provides a platform for running other software. Now, it provides a platform. Let me talk about that. The major aspect of system software is operating system. Now, what's an operating system? Operating system means that this particular computer is a Windows computer. Everything that would happen in this computer must be a Windows, must be based on Windows. Now, let me explain. A computer that a Windows operating system is running. Application from MacBook, I mean MacBook or Apple laptop. When I say MacBook, I mean an Apple laptop that is using Mac OS. Do you understand? Such application will not run in a computer that is running with Windows. It is called operating system. That is what the manufacturer has programmed to that particular computer, and that is what oversee. That is what guides everything that is being operated in that computer. Everything that is working inside or working on that computer must be tuned, or must be what? Must be sync with what? Windows. Must be generated from Windows operating system. So when I'm saying operating system, basically just more like what what operates inside that particular computer. What operates? Okay, let me take it this way. In a family, that is composed of Yoruba people, everything they say in that place, the major language they say in that family is Yoruba language. That's what they understand. That is the way they relate with you. I mean, if a proper Yoruba family, the food they eat is what is Yoruba food, amala, begiri, and the likes. I don't know, maybe you are following me. The language they speak is the Konk Yoruba. In fact, they speak their accent. Maybe you come from Ondo, if you hear something like Keti, so you understand. So they're not even in a normal Yoruba language. Now, if somebody from the east, an Igbo boy, visit them, so everything looks odd. Nothing is working because it does not understand language. It does not understand the food they are eating. It does not. So that is what it's. That is the same replica or analogy of what we're talking about here. So what operates in that family is West culture. What operates in that family is what Yoruba setting. So a person coming from the north, from Taraba, or coming from Nasarawa or whatever, or Jalingo, will not flow. Everything is an error because it will not work. Nothing is working. Both the feeding, both the language, both the ways of doing things, both, in fact, down to the way of of understanding day-to-day activities. So that's the same thing that happens when you're talking about operating system. It's just like a platform that, okay, this is a Windows laptop. This is what it understands. This is what should happen here. It's like a guide. That's what we call instruction. Everything that happens here must happen the same way Windows happen. Now, to round that aspect up, the way a Windows laptop boot is different from the way a Mac OS laptop, which is MacBook or Apple laptop boot. It's different from the way an Android phone. Yes, we need to understand that a phone is also a phone. A phone is a computer. It's a personal computer. It's a palm top. When you have a laptop, a computer that's put on your lap, your phone is also a computer. It accept data, it store data, it process data, and displays those data as information. Process data as information. So your phone is a what? Your phone is a computer, palm top to be specific. So if your phone, Android is operating on your phone, no application in iPhone will work in your Android phone. If you are using an iPhone, no application software. We shorten it to be application. No application software, be it browser, be it MS Word, be it a media player, be it games. None of those applications in your iPhone will work in your Android phone. None of them will work in your Windows phone. Taking phone now as a computer, because many of us we are used to. I mean, we are more familiar with phones than, let's say, computer itself, be it desktop or laptop. So it's better off using the phone, in fact, to make this explicit. So I'm still purchasing more points on what? On system software and application software. So application software, as I said before, are programs designed to perform specific tasks for the user. Word processor, web browsers, most of your apps, you call them apps from the word application software. So none of them is going to work in an iPhone if they are coming from what? Android phone. So that is the basic meaning or basic explanation of what operating systems is all about. Then you also hear something like a device driver. This is also software that comes from the manufacturer, helps to drive anything that is running. When we say driver, like maybe your CD your CD needs to be run, your computer, so it drives, or your external drives. That's what we call device drivers. So, all right. Then we also have other categories of software called programming software. Tools used by programmers to create, test, and debug other, when I say debug, to correct error, that's enough debug. When you hear the word debug means correcting errors or correcting bugs. We call it, technically, it's called bugs. Among the developers, yes, yes, developer software engineers, when they say bugs, they mean maybe there's an error or an issue with their codes or what they are trying to develop using programming language. All right. So some software does that. We call them debuggers. Some software converts that their programming language to what the computer understands. It's called compilers. So yeah. So those aspects, they are also programming software. All these basic knowledge are requirements in diving into the tech world. These are the things you need to understand before you can know, okay, this is how the computer works, this is how tech, okay, these are what they do in this aspect of tech, these are what they do in this aspect of tech. You can't just wake up and say, I want to be a cybersecurity master, expert, when you don't even know how a software is being attacked or what a software is being made up of. You need to understand that this application software is prone to this particular attack, this cyber attack, if it's not taken care of, or maybe from this manufacturer point of view, or a system or an operating system. This application system will not work on this operating system. So these are basic requirements in diving into the world of tech, into any career, in any aspect of tech. So it's more like a generic knowledge to, oh, I'm going into development, I'm going into WordPress, this thing, I'm going to a mobile developer, I'm going to a data analyst, I'm going to even digital marketing. So you are going into whatever you are going into. There are some generic tech knowledge. It's not, it's simple, but the in-depth understanding of it might not be that so simple if you do not sink, and get well groomed in the knowledge of it. All right. Another aspect of software is what we call middleware. This acts as a bridge between different software components or systems. These are called middleware. All right. Progress. So we have different kind of system software, or I mean operating system. It's iOS. This is a Windows logo. We have Ubuntu is an operating system. Android is an operating system. So Android is an operating system. You need to understand that. And we have several application systems. These are millions and thousands. Microsoft Access, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Skype. You have WhatsApp, Windows Media. We have Photoshop, ClickUp, Facebook, Netflix. A lot of application softwares are there. All right. Okay, these are still operating system. Windows, Ubuntu, Linux, iOS, and Android. Okay. Then the programming software I was talking about are software that are made up of programming languages. Maybe be it JavaScript, CSS, HTML, PHP, Python, Swift, whatever programming language it is. So you need to understand that whatever is being developed as an application software, they are all developed from these programming languages. These programming languages are the recipe. You need to understand that these programming languages are seen on the screen. These are the recipe, the ingredients for what? For spinning up any application software you are using on your computer, be it your phone, your laptop, your tablets, whatever it is. So, all right, but we're not diving deep on this right now. Okay. If you have any question on hardware, what computer system is, and software, some aspect that you need me to throw more light on, to clarify and make more explicit, you can put your question in the chat box. All right. So we'll be diving into peopleware. Some of us can be a bit like surprised or amazed at which one is peopleware again. All right. Basically, peopleware can refer to anything that has to do with the role of people in the development or the use of computer system. Why hardware and software are essential? They are useless. All the hardware I've been talking about since morning, all the software I've been talking about since morning, all of them are useless without the human elements to design, develop, operate, and utilize them. If not, nobody is operating a computer, is using a computer, is developing the computer, is designing or whatever. Everything a computer is useless. So what even make computer relevant at all is the human being, is the people, the people. So they are part of the computer systems. We need to also what we need to, in fact, we need to reckon with. We need to talk about. So every computer professional or computer users are referred to as what people were. So example are developers. They write codes, they develop websites and applications, mobile, web applications, desktop applications, all applications. So they will call them software developers. So we have system analysts analyzing. Oh, all right. System analysts analyzing user needs, designing solutions. So what they do is what we call them system analysts. They do about system design, a solution. If there's an application to be built or whatever, they are the one that we prepare, convert the requirements into the architecture and the system design and the likes. So that's their function. Okay, the next are project managers, overseeing the development process and ensuring projects are completed on time and within budget. So for every software project or any digital project, a PM is meant to be present to oversee the whole development process, the whole deployment process, development and deployment, and ensuring projects are completed on time. Every project must have a start and end time. So completed on time and within budget and should give effective satisfaction to the users. So those are the function of the project managers. So there are also computer professionals that there are areas in which you can dive into as a tech enthusiast. So I'm very sure everybody in this um, webinar session is a tech enthusiast. You have is that you are in tech, or you are planning to be in tech, or you are admiring to be in tech, or whatever. That is what I mean by a tech enthusiast. All right. They also have people called network administrators. They manage and maintain computer networks. So we have hardware engineers, they design, build, and test computer hardware components. This keyboard we are seeing, we have engineers that they design, they build them, they test them, and the likes. So we have numerous, we have um, even computer operator, just to manage the operation of computer system. IT support engineer, IT support personnel, data analyst is also a people where is a computer professional that analyzes data, collects data. Are we there? So they collect mine data. Do you understand? So that they can make better decisions, better business decisions. Digital marketers, they are also people where they help businesses to what? To have recognition locally and globally with the use of digital tools and environment. We have educators, computer educators, they teach computer related subjects, computer or IT related courses. We have numerous of them. So we have database administrator, the manages and maintain the databases. That is anywhere you can get the and database is just like a collection, a container for what? For data of a particular unit or a particular organization or a particular group of people. So that is database. When I say several, I mean double digits, hundreds of people were, I mean, professionals or areas in the world, areas to be dived into in the world of computer, in the world of tech. Okay, we can see how computer is being operated on the screen, and the lady trying to analyze data, and the other man trying to do some system design, and administration. Okay, okay, this is actually the people where these people where you see this is what is use as my my video background. This is a computer system. A complete computer system is being represented in this image. We have people operating the computer. We have people trying to we have people trying to do connections, maybe network administrator. We have people trying to do system, yes, the people trying to analyze, probably analyzing data on the laptop. People trying to, also do some analysis or do some, forecasting. So like that on their phones or that phone or it's a tablet. So this is a complete representation of the computer system. You have the hardware where they can touch. So is the hardware is being operated on. People where they are the people that are actually maintaining, operating, making use of both the hardware and the software. So this is a complete presentation of part of the computer system we've said so far. So that question, just let just put that on the chat box. Put that on the chat box so that we can get response, can answer to the question. All right. So with the absence of question for now, we can make progress. So we'll go to another aspect called malware. Right. Malware. This is short for malicious software. When we say malicious, something obnoxious, something harmful, destructive. That's the meaning of malicious. So from the coining mal and ware, so that's called malware, short for malicious software. Is any software designed, and most of them is intentional. Nobody design or develop something accidentally. So they are most times deliberate. Some people they do that. We call them hackers. Do you understand or whatever? Do you get it? So any software designed to cause disruption, damage, or gain unauthorized access to a computer system or network is called a malware. So this is a major tool for people we know as hackers, Yahoo. People we know that who know to truncate into a computer system unauthorized. So that is malware, right? It encompasses a wide range of harmful programs. It encompasses wide range of harmful programs, including viruses, worms, trojans, ransomware. These are like the examples of malware that we have. These are examples of the malware that we have. So with the goal of causing disruption, stealing information, or gaining unauthorized access. You need to understand that. Okay. Network is dragging. All right. Malware can spread through various means, including email attachment. When an email is sent to you, you need to understand, you need to know where actually our email is sent to you. You need to ensure that the email sender is a trusted person before you just download the attachment. Because at the point of downloading attachments online, a malware can be what? A malware can come along to cause a damage in your computer system. It can also be spread through infected websites. You just click on a website, a web link, unknowingly, but that website is coming with a malware. Well, we'll look at some few malware in the next slide. So, downloads from untrusted sources, and even by connecting to infected networks. Not all free Wi-Fi you connect to. This malware is just a bit telling us some basics or rudiments of cybersecurity, whereby you need to be, as a computer literate or a computer personnel, you need to, understand the core essential aspects of securing your computer system. Your computer system can be operating, can be running today, and it's not running tomorrow. In fact, apart from running, send you into a lot of data loss or financial loss. If proper understanding of malware and cybersecurity essentials is not in place. All right. Malware can cause a range of problems, including data loss, system slowdowns or downtimes, unauthorized access to sensitive information, and even complete system shutdowns. So these are consequences of allowing malware to dive into our computer system. Do not forget that malware is also a form of software. We call it malicious software. They're also made by what? By codes, by programs. Do you get it? So all these things are created by some specific, technicalities and programming languages. Okay. Protecting against malware involves using reputable antivirus software. It's going to be Avast, it's going to be Kaspersky, it's going to be Smartdav. A lot of them are there that we can, install. All right. Avoiding suspicious websites and downloads. Keeping software updated. You need to always update your software. Any software you want in your computer that is yet to be updated, or do that. Because the outdated software is now vulnerable to any malware. Yeah, let me put that way. It's vulnerable to any cyber attack. And practicing safe online habits. Practicing safe online habits means that don't just click any link, don't just enter any site, site that is untrusted. So all of that is important to prevent and malware into our system. Okay, let's look at a few types of malware. The first one here is ransomware. On the screen here, you see blackmails you. What does it do? What a ransomware does is it encrypts files. It encrypts files and demands payment for decryption. It encrypts files. So that's why the name ransom is coming from. Ransom, that is, if your file will be what? Will be encrypted. The file you are expecting will just be automatically, just because it's an attack. Maybe you need to download the file now. The file will just be encrypted somehow. Will be masked, and you'll be required to make some payment for decryption of that kind of file. Do you get it? So it could be your file that you kept in your Google Drive. So those kind of file can have can suffer attack, ransomware attack. If your password is not strong and is prone to spoofing, is prone to a lot of attack like that. So that's what a ransomware is. It blackmails your files. All right. We also have what we call spyware. Steal your data. That from the word spy, collect user information without their knowledge. Any software that can come around your system just to come and collect your user information. These are like phishing. Your phishing is very close to spyware. Do you understand? So you don't know that is a wrong link. Do you understand? You've opened the form, you sent your data there, so it's a spyware. it collects your user information, it steals your data, send it there, then return a blank or an error page. That's the spyware. Adware, they spam you with ads. You know, all those ads that comes when you play games, all those ads that comes when you a random ad that just come. Most times they come when you are watching YouTube. You're watching YouTube and you just see one random ad. You are playing a game, you just see one random ad. Do you understand? So those ads, some of them don't click anything on those ads. Cyber attackers keep some malware in those ads, because you don't really know where some of those ads are coming from. So they keep some specific thing now. It's called adware, advertisement malware, adware. So they can spam with ads and it's coming with some malware. All right. Next is worms. Spread across computer. Worms, they are self-replicating and spread through networks. So when you talk about worms comes with network anyway. It don't just connect to any network, except that, oh, my colleague, I know that this is network. Can I connect your network? Where's your password? But just see a network that is open, that is just like a freeware Wi-Fi, randomly, maybe in next office, next in your street. You don't connect to those network. They have what we call worms, network worms. Do you understand? So well, they call them network worms. Trojans sneak malware onto your PC. Trojans is basically they are like they disguise as legitimate software to trick users into installing them. You understand? Trojans are basically applications that are fake. You go online to run, let's say Zoom now. Okay, let's say an application is paid. So somebody can now inform me that that same application is free now. Go to this particular place and go and install it. You understand? So that fake application is coming with malware into your PC. It's coming with some viruses. You understand? So that kind of fake application is called Trojans. Trojans, understand that? Then last one on this on malware is botnet. Botnet slash keyloggers. Get my points. They turn your PC into a zombie. Do you understand? That's a botnet. You understand? And most of the time, they come from online as well too. They come from online too as well. So they just turn your PC into a zombie. You cannot do anything. They'll just begin to hang. Do you understand? They begin to misbehave. It's very close to okay, no, another one is keyloggers. That's steal passwords and other information from your computer systems. So that's a botnet. The botnet is more like a robot. Do you understand? And that's why we call it botnet. And it's online. The net there is talking about network, botnet. So it's made by all those chatbot developers. Do you understand? So they make it dummy. Yeah, they make it dummy and effective. Do you understand? So it's maybe you just click into a Chrome and the Chrome just blank off. So that's a botnet. The system, the computer has been infected by botnets. All right, we'll be we'll be rounding up today's webinar session with malware. We've talked about computer hardware, talk about computer software. We talk about the peopleware, the computer users and professionals that make use of computers, maintains the computers, and design and also develops softwares around the computer. So these are the peopleware. And then malware, malicious software that can cause disruption in your operations, in the usage of your computer systems. So those are what we refer to as the malware now. So we rounded up on this. So if you have a question in a few minutes, I can see I can respond speedily to your questions. If any part of this session is not clear, I can speedily give a sharp response to that. So I don't know if you have questions that you need explanation. You need me to go over to break it down or share some more insights. So you can put it on the chat box there. So with the absence of questions, so we can have Madam to round up the session.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Full section. Thank you. Appreciate everyone that made it this evening. Like we all know, this is day one of this webinar. It's our monthly program from Jofia Academy. We spend time to introduce most of these programs for us to begin to see how possible it is to enroll anywhere you are. It can happen online, it can happen physical. We are in a technology world, we're in tech world, you cannot be left out. There's no going back. Create moments to begin to develop your skills little by little. And that's why we try to ease off some of these captions so that we'll be able to show interest. And just like we have been taught today, hardware, software, malware. Tomorrow we'll continue again. It's a 2-day program, day 1 and day 2. And it's so important that we build up from here. And the beautiful thing now is you can learn anywhere from any location, wherever you find yourself. So make out time to develop your skill. The society is running. It is so important because we are moving in, we're now getting into different courses. Like in Jofia Academy, we take Nigerian exams, foreign exams, as well as computer courses, from basic computer to different programs. So let's build up ourselves. I appreciate as many that made it. Today is day 1 of our July edition, where we're taking computer systems and operations. And I believe as many that join on exactly 4 p.m., they would have gotten a little light tonight, this evening. And we believe God by tomorrow, we continue from a deeper section, which will equally involve practical sections. Let's create time to be available. Remember, this program is also live on Facebook. If you did not join us on time, you can spend time. We'll be able to send the link also for many of us to be able to watch again, so that we'll be able to understand some of these terminologies that we've been hearing over time. Like we said, this is computer systems and operations. How does the computer operate? How does it work? So many people are involved. The hardware is involved, the software is involved, the people is involved. And now we're in the world of malwares. We must understand how each one of these sections operates so that we'll be able to guide our systems appropriately. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Mr. Victor, for anchoring this section. By the grace of God, we'll continue tomorrow. You can share the link to any one of your friends, your contacts. Share. It is a free section. There's no payment. As if you have not registered, just resend the next webinar. That's the whole purpose of the reference points, the email address, just for reference points. God bless you for joining, and see you again tomorrow, 4 p.m. The same time, the same link. I'll be able to continue again. Thank you so much, and God bless. And many of us, if you have further questions, you're free to chat us up. This is coming from Jofia Academy. where we take Nigerian exams, computer courses, as well as foreign exams. We also help students for basic knowledge on adult education. You can learn adult education. We register a lot of courses online for candidates. And currently we are on post-UTME exam preparation, GCE exam preparation, and summer section. You have the opportunity. We also get all of this informed. You have friends around you that can get into any of these courses wherever you are. Please, we're in online world. Don't be left out. Learn some of these skills. You need it for your personal engagement and relevance even in your workspace. God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Thank you, Mr. Favor. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your comments. And if there are questions, please, you're free to ask. You're free to ask. Send these questions across. After last month section, somebody still sent questions, and we kept answering all her questions. And she was connecting from the east. So be free to send your questions across. God bless you. Thank you so much. God bless you.